And we're off. Let me get to a first-time caller, Emily in Washington State. Emily, thanks for calling, and thanks for holding. What is up?
Yeah. Yeah, the locals don't want me to be talking to you right now, but thanks for taking my call. I just called because the live chat and Jesse's show told me to call you. I have to be really honest, I don't want to hurt. I probably shouldn't say this because
I may have to cut you off depending on what you start to get into, or at least disavow what you say for the sake of my channel. But what do you want to say? Go ahead.
No, literally I called because somebody in the chat told me to call the Hake Report.
Yeah, I heard you say that, but what did you want to say?
And then I think that correlated with what I was talking about, the coronavirus. I think that's why they said that.
Right, but what did you want to say?
I just wanted to say, I saw it happen in 2016, and I've been listening to your show and Jesse's show for 4 or 5 years. And
nice. Welcome. And this is your first time calling into Hake? And you've been watching my show too?
No, I can't stand your show.
Oh, you said that you've been watching my show and Jesse's show for 4 years.
Well, I kind of watch your show sometimes.
Okay. So is it a love-hate, or is it just a hate? Or what?
It's a love-hate.
What can't you stand about it? Just out of curiosity. For my edification.
Let's see. Well, sometimes your language is like a little bit juvenile, but
True.
You're older. You're my elder, so it's kind of awkward for me to say that.
Right. What do you mean by my language is juvenile?
I was really raised around a lot of older people, and so I'm just super
Most of us were. But go ahead.
I'm just really, really picky about everything, because all my childhood influences were
You're beating around the bush. You're beating around the bush. Can you say it without it coming out vulgar for the kids?
Let's see. Well, I feel like you're stale. You're a tree that's you kind of have gone to root in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an old. You have it's like an old violin, it plays and it's smooth, but it just, every once in a while it squeaks, and there's some tuning, there's something that should be happening with it that's, I don't know. I can't explain it.
No, that's interesting. That's an interesting feedback.
I think you have some frustration inside that just comes, it comes from a source. It's like coming from a source that won't go away.
And this has to do with juvenile language?
Sometimes, yeah, because I feel like
What do you mean by juvenile language? Like me cleaning up the language for the kids, or what do you mean by juvenile language?
Well, you have a story attached to you, right? And so whenever you get in an awkward situation, you kind of repeat your story and you say, well, this is why I'm this way.
Oh, like I was sheltered. Like I was sheltered.
Yeah.
That type of thing?
Yeah, kind of. But you're not sheltered anymore. I don't know. I'm trying to say that.
But I shelter my show. Do you understand that I shelter my show for the sake of the kids and the parents?
I did not know that. That's really helpful.
So you don't hear me? You don't hear me saying "sorry, kids" or stuff like that? Don't say that to kids. You think
I've heard you say that.
You think I'm making that up?
No, I don't at all.
Okay.
I'm desensitized because it's so rare to hear people doing that, and it also people do that, but they don't really mean it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily totally mean it, but I find it amusing to say. I crack myself up, and then also I do want it to be family friendly. You know, on JLP show on Nick himself doesn't cuss much, but he does let cussing happen on his clips because he's that's his show. It's more like that. But I grew up differently.
Yeah,
and
me
so,
too.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What did you want to say about appreciate the feedback? I appreciate that. That's cool. It's interesting. What did you want to say about the China virus or the coronavirus?
Oh, I'm just so amazed that people are still trying to impose this idea on me that I came up with, like, far before they even heard of it. And, like, to be honest with you, it's been really scary because I can't even talk about it or people are going to say you're insane and they're going to try to lock me up.
Oh, yeah. Be careful.
And they've done it. They've done it.
You've been locked up before because of the way that you talk?
Yeah, by my husband.
Oh,
several
man.
times. 4 times.
So then
and
you haven't gotten the hint to protect yourself by keeping your mouth shut?
But I don't want to because this is part of my life song.
Your life song. Interesting.
Yeah.
Does your life song ever squeak like my violin squeaks?
Yeah.
That's fun. So, but don't you respect your husband? You're a Christian. Are you a Christian?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, okay.
No, Jesse said Christian. Well, yes, I am a Christian because
okay.
I think I might be an atheist.
An atheist Christian.
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Because most Christians are atheists.
Yeah.
Were you raised Christian or no?
No, I was raised agnostic.
Were you raised in like the Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, Portland area, stuff like that?
No, I was raised in Eastern Oregon. My dad's family,
more inland.
My dad's family converted to Mormonism in Sweden, and then they immigrated to Mexico from persecution.
Oh, wow.
And then they had to leave Mexico because Pancho Villa was chasing all the white people out of Mexico, and they went to Oregon.
Whoa.
And then my dad was raised Mormon, and he left the church at 18 because he didn't want to go to people's stores and tell them to be Mormon.
Nice. Right on.
And,
sounds like a decent head on his shoulders. Shout out to the
But
Mormons.
they all died from alcohol poisoning.
Including your
father?
father?
My father. No, he's alive. He almost died in the last month. So.
His fellow Mormon
his mom,
family members, they all died from alcohol poisoning?
Well, I don't know if his sister was Mormon, but mom and dad and his sister, yeah, they all died.
And
in their 60s.
In their 60s.
Yeah.
Do you don't have to answer this, but do you happen to drink alcohol?
No.
Oh, nice. How about you don't have to answer this, but how about pot? I disavow.
No, I don't smoke pot. You know, I love to have a gram every day.
A gram?
Huh?
A gram of what? Just you don't have to answer that, but a gram of what?
No, I don't smoke pot at all. I can't stand pot. It makes me so paranoid and so scared.
And you're white.
I don't. Yeah, I'm white.
Yeah, because you're descended from Mormons from Sweden.
Well, ask my husband. He'll say I'm black. He's weird.
And you're still. Well, yeah, I could believe that your husband is weird. You're a little weird. I'm a little weird. And let's keep Eastern Oregon weird. No, I'm kidding. Is that a baby in the background? You don't have to answer that.
Yeah. No, he's not a baby.
Oh, nice.
He's a toddler.
Nice.
But anyways.
I appreciate your call. I hope you enjoyed calling. Go ahead briefly with your point, and then we'll hang up for the day, and you can call another day too.
So my point was that as far as like my life song and my prayer to God, which doesn't exist because I'm a Christian and I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist, right? So my prayer was, for this husband to be in my life, and then he's screaming in my face saying there's a new world order and I should get used to it, and everything that comes out of my mouth is a conspiracy theory, including, evidence of information about fluoride and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay. Do you avoid tap water?
Yeah, I do. I don't like the taste of chlorine.
Okay.
But anyways, my whole point was that it's very hard to have an outlet for something that you saw happening many, many years before, and then the disappointment that the elders of your life didn't even see it. And I was telling everybody, I don't know why I'm the only person in my whole family. I'm convinced my family hates me.
So you said you saw the China virus happen in 2016, which is 4 years before the 2020 official start of the China virus. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you're surprised that your elders didn't see it. You remind me of that mildly attractive crazy lady from Homeland TV series, the liberal
you're
show.
saying I'm crazy?
No. You're crazy, but you saw something real, but you're so crazy about it that people don't believe you. They think you're just crazy, but you're actually right, but you're also crazy.
Well, I don't know.
Because it is kind of crazy to get institutionalized more than one time because of your mouth, because your husband's institutionalizing you because of your mouth.
Well, now...
And you can't shut up because you worry, you can't help but worry your pretty little head about what's going on in the world.
Right, which I'm not supposed to have an opinion about at all.
Yeah. Isn't that good advice from JLP?
But I have... No, it's not, because everybody that I come in contact with treats me as though I don't exist. And that's the part that I'm for the children, and this whole thing is about the children. Baby killers.
Right.
Baby killers are popping. Like,
it's true. But it's not doing you or the babies or the children any good if you're turning people away with you're right, but you're getting crazy about it. You're bothered by it.
I'm glad to turn them away because they are attacking me. So as many as I can turn away, that's a success in my book.
All right. I wish you well, Emily. Nice call. It's good to hear from you. Call me again. I'm hanging up just because I gotta keep it moving. I got a Chinese song to play.
Why? Okay, out of curiosity, why did you ask if I drink alcohol?
Oh, somebody in the chat was speculating, and I wanted to clear it up. Somebody in the chat was speculating that you were drunk or something, which I didn't necessarily believe.
They said I was on Adderall. No, this rumor's been going around since 2012. Everybody's been trying to say that I'm on drugs, my dad included. And that's one of the reasons why I got hospitalized. They said I was schizophrenic, all kinds of crap. So,
you ever heard of JLP's silent prayer?
I can't do it. It's too painful.
Oh, did you call into JLP today?
Yes.
Oh, you're the one who said that you cannot do it, and you talked about all the different things that you're going through and stuff. Wow.
Yeah, I cannot do his prayer. I cannot do it.
Okay.
I have to. I'm like at the mercy of that exterior world to provide me the opportunity to be able to get into that space. I cannot do his prayer. It's impossible. And he basically hung up on me and said, "You have too many problems. Like, I can't help you."
Right, so, because you were scatterbrained. You wouldn't just calm down and deal with one thing. You kept on bringing up other things. So he had to.
Yeah,
he had to move on.
Yeah.
But we wish you well from the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and the Hake Report and.
Well, that was the other thing I was trying to ask him when he started teaching people to forgive their mother and father, because I've watched many videos of his over the years, and it seems like he started telling people to do that after I did it. I did it in 2012.
Oh no, and he's been saying that forever. It's just that it hasn't been uploaded to YouTube. We started focusing more and more on YouTube. Over the years, we started Bond and Jesse Lee Peterson started a YouTube channel when it first started, but they didn't focus a lot of his main message on there until later. But yeah, he when I first went to Bond for the church service in 2007, he told me the same thing. So he's been saying it forever.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I would just, as far as your viewers go, I would just say, be careful about the comments that you make, because real people have, real life experiences that might be affecting your life in ways that are bigger than they could ever imagine.
Okay.
And, that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Emily. Appreciate you. Take care.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
All right, bye. Hake, I thought you were hanging up. She said something else mildly interesting to Hake.
Art, Ohio, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Nick, what's up with you?
What's up, Art? Hey.
What's up with Nick, brother?
we got Art Mania.
Yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Right on, man.
So
thanks for calling.
No, thank you for having me, man. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like the Mormons is basically they need to pull their skirt down. They exposing themselves. God don't want robots. He wants you to be just like me and Hake was talking earlier, whatnot. And I said he was talking about my immorality, where I was talking about having sex out of wedlock, or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's something that God has to work with me on. If the Mormons in Utah are having problems with porn, that's the devil. That's something that God has to work with every person in Utah that watches porn. You can't play the mama spirit and try to ban that. You know what I mean? That's God working with. Some people are able to fix themselves to where they're able to pull that they have a strong disciplined mind to where they can pull themselves away from some things, just like somebody can pull themselves away from smoking cigarettes or weed. You know what I mean? Some people ain't, but I kind of feel like that's the mama mentality where they don't have faith in Father God, just like my grandmother. She didn't have her faith in God. I would question it because she went and got the vaccine when if she was like me, or if she was really in the walking with Father God, that she would have known that she didn't need to take no vaccine because she was going to be all right. God being with her all them 75 years, and he ain't let her down. So why would he do it at 75? You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
yeah, man, and I got to say, go ahead.
Well, I mean, okay, and that's the first thing. But if
I may on the porn stuff, I got to say I mostly agree because the more I think about it, too, the people trying to ban it, and I like leaving room for the possibility of banning it. I'm not against that. I don't know. But it seems like if the people banning it, I just wish that they had, it would just make more sense to me. Life would make more sense to me if I was supposed to be banning something like that I would have an answer for people. Okay, yeah, this is banned because we don't want a society like this, but here's why. But here I have for you the solution on how to get over it. And this is why you should be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that too lofty? Because I don't think it's that lofty. When you hear Jesse talk about how to get over these things, it becomes real. So I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that lofty. But go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, you in 2023. You got this younger generation with the females, and even the ones in my generation. If you ain't got no money or whatnot, and these females ain't trying to deal with you. You know what I mean? They got the mindset, I'm an independent woman, so they're not going to be messing with some of these dudes or whatnot. A lot of them, because a lot of them is beta. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to have a whole bunch of boys out here that's going to be running around here sexually frustrated because they probably ain't getting no attention or whatnot, and they got the mama spirit or whatnot because they've been raised by mama. And a lot of these liberal females are turned off by them type of dudes because they got female tendencies and female ways. So a lot of them dudes in Utah are going to be running around sexually frustrated or whatnot. and any male in the chat.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I mean,
it seems seems to me like it doesn't matter. I hear a lot about that, like, a lot of women aren't messing with men, a lot of sexually frustrated men or something like that. But I think if you really wanted to, I guess I'm not being very clear here, and I don't think I can. So let's just move on. Go ahead, Art.
Well, you got the gay agenda or whatnot. You know, you pushing it on kids. They seeing that. And I can go back to when I was in high school or whatnot. I would be in class or whatnot, and I would get aroused by just seeing one of the young girls in there with big breasts, or a girl that got a big butt, tight jeans or whatnot. And I had to cross my legs, or I had to hope that the teacher didn't call me to answer a question, want me to stand up and read something in the classroom.
You don't have to be that descriptive, Art.
Yeah, but I would be, what's the word that I'm looking for? I would be aroused at that time. You know what I mean? And I had,
I'm following.
So I just go to say that is that you got young dudes and older dudes that if they get aroused like that, you got to have some type of way to get that energy up off of you.
Really?
You ain't never had blue balls before?
Okay, no, man, stop. Don't be so graphic. It's still just lunchtime for a lot of people. But
do you get what I'm saying?
Look, I'm following you. I'm following what you're saying. And you know what? Since we're here, look, I just want to say, it seems to me like that even what you're saying there is already like what if you just lived your life without having to say that? And what I'm getting at here is it's like everything you've just said about, well, you have to do that because you have to get rid of the energy. By just simply saying that, you've already like put yourself in a mindset and premise where your reality, in that reality, you have to have that. Do you see what I'm saying? If you could just take a step back and not even make that admission and just watch yourself as you do some of those things, you might find a little bit more insight. Am I making sense here? Because by just simply saying I need to have, you're already accepting something that maybe you don't realize you don't need to accept. It may not even be that way.
But think about it though, Nick. I can understand if we was in the 1900s, where girls running around here with loose fitting dresses.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They weren't showing, but this stuff it ain't nothing but sexual propaganda putting in front of people every day on TV, work, school, all of this. And it's only natural that a person is going to be like that.
Okay.
And with the agenda, gay agenda that they pushing, you at least want the males to at least, if they going to be like that they at least are attracted to the opposite sex, the way God set it out to be.
Okay. So I accept what you're saying there. And if that's true, if the world is the way you say it is, that they're putting the sex in front of us to control us, then why call it something that you just need? You're calling, am I making any sense here? I don't think I'm being clear here, because you're calling the sex something that you need to do. Okay, that's what I'm trying to focus on here. And yet you also recognize that it was something inflicted on you by whatever, the government or anything, and it's used and you're subject to it. So which is it? Is it a good thing that you need, or is it just something that you're subject to and a slave to? Which one? You know what I'm getting at? Which one is it?
Yeah, I feel like it's a need, unless you can get everybody to go back to the 1900s when everybody, because Tina Turner said it. Tina Turner said it the best. What's love got to do? Opposites going to always attract. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's the nature of the man and the nature of the female. But what the nature ain't is for you to be pushing sex in front of me, you know what I mean, and this propaganda in front of me to make me in that vulnerable state to where my energy is up like that.
Okay, but can't you see what I'm saying? How despite the reality, despite the you're saying the need to go back to the 1900s and stuff, doesn't it remain true that in this situation that we are in right now, you're still subject to something evil, and whether you can overcome it or not, whether we have the ability to make society or whatever have the tools in front of us to get over it or not, maybe you're subject to it the rest of your life. Okay, I don't know. But can't you just call it what it is instead of saying it's a need, it's what I need, it's something you're subject to, and I'm just gonna watch it. I'm not gonna judge myself. I'm not gonna. I see how crazy the world is and the world I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta just call it what it is. I don't know if I'm totally off track to what you're trying to get to, but that's kind of what I'm focusing on.
If I'm understanding you, but if I'm understanding you right, it's saying they both evil, and I'm like this. Which evil do you want? Because truth be told, they don't know what road they crossing. You might ban porn or whatnot, and then you gonna have a whole bunch of sexually frustrated people or boys down there to where they gonna go and start taking it. You might see an influx in rapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
do get what you're saying. There's some evidence even to suggest a lot of what you're saying. And that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like you ban the porn, but you don't know how to get over it yourself. So it's like, give me the answer here. Don't just. It's a reaction out of fear, in my opinion. That's kind of what I was getting at. But you make a good point, man. Thanks.
So you banning it, and so what are you gonna do? Go back to, because if I'm living in Utah, I'm gonna either go back to getting DVDs. Or I'm going to go back to the old Ron Jeremy book.
Don't say what you're going to do. At least leave it at an unknown and shouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? At least, though, I'm going to.
Well, they just swept the dirt to the one side of the room. They ain't really cleaned it up.
No, you make a lot of sense.
And one more thing, and I'm going to get up off here with
we'll move the wheels after this one.
Okay, so when I was about 12 or whatnot, I remember back in the day, see, I'm an 80s baby. I remember my friends first told me, like, hey, man, we got the magazines. I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa. It was, back in the day, that was hard to come by. The stores had them, but they had them put up. So when my friends my age, we little hood babies or whatnot, little rug rats. I'm like, man, no, you don't. You lying. So they go get one, and we got a little place out there in the woods or whatnot to where we could, there was a little clubhouse in the woods or whatnot. And all the boys would be standing around like, whoa, you know what I mean? So just thinking about back to that or whatnot, I'd rather the boys look at that and be looking at it and understanding that, I'm attracted to girls. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like they playing the mama spirit and they ain't naturally letting boys do what they do or whatnot.
You know what? I don't know if I have the words to totally comment on what you're saying, but there might be even some truth to what you're saying. I mean, I think what you're describing is just when we were growing up, or even when you were growing up, like that. It just shows how things have been degenerating for a long time. I don't know if that's a sign of anything good, but you have a point. I think you have a point about the mama thing and government playing mama and stuff. When kids, like, look at our own lives and the things we get into, like. I think there's a point there somewhere. I can't quite put it into words. But check this out. Do you want them to go with the liberals? Because the liberals is pushing the gay agenda and the liberal female agenda in school or whatnot. Yeah, and they're also pushing the porn. It's the Utah. I don't think the Utah people are liberals.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. But you never know.
But I mean. You want to push them to the left, or you want to push them to at least in the middle or towards the right? Because the left is trying to turn the boys to where they wearing dresses and transgender, and the boys is liking boys. Or do you want to be in the middle or to the right, where they like the girls?
Yeah, Depressed Toilet makes a good point in the chat. Says he disagrees. He thinks banning it will make people more productive, and that kind of brings up a good point. We don't really know what would happen. It could. They say things happened when alcohol was banned during Prohibition and that it didn't work, but I heard it did work and that alcohol consumption went down a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think some good, some relatively good statistics came out of it. I don't know, Art, but I got to move the wheels, man. Thanks for your call.
I'll catch you later, Gator.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again.
FBI,
okay.
Ridiculous. Let me get to Lady C-Sal in Washington State, who's on the line about this shooting. How you doing, Lady C-Sal?
Hello?
Hey.
I'm nervous.
You've called in before. Nice to hear from you again. Don't sweat it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm calling about that. What you're talking about right now, the situation with I know all the facts are not out, right? Obviously, so
Yeah.
I'm trying not to judge or whatever, but it was shocking. I was listening to the story last night, and I'm like, I'm confused. Are they saying that when the gunman came in, the only two men in the household ran out? I'm not sure. I think that's what. Have you seen any of the interviews? Is that what they're saying?
I have not seen any of the interviews. I've just read little reports about what has gone on.
Oh,
So
okay, because I've
yeah, it's
seen
confusing.
several. I've seen several, and I think
So
that's what they're
what's
saying.
your point about only two men ran out? What do you mean by
That
that?
right. So the gunman came in, and the two men that could have protected the women and children ran out.
Oh.
Went left running. They ran out of the house, and
That's
the
quite
gunman
possible.
obviously. That's what I've heard, and I could be wrong, and we could be, jumping to conclusions. But I'm not really. I was telling my husband, I'm not that surprised because that's their go-to. Like if in their own nations, in their own countries, they don't stay and fight till the death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the hill I'll die on, and if I have to die for my country, that's what I'll do. No, they run somewhere else. So when a gunman came into their home, also I was thinking that's crazy. What the moral decay does in a micro level because.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that they weren't married. One of the men was not married to one of the ladies, and so the little boy or somebody was his stepson, something like that.
Oh,
I could be
wow.
wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no wonder, like that's not your woman, that's not your son,
Right.
because you're doing things wrong.
Yeah, that's so true. I don't know what the truth is about
Right.
what went down with this shooting, but you make a great point. Is that they don't make men like like they used to, and the Mexican men are no exception. They're weak as can be, simps for their women, cowards. They run, and other people further south too. They come over here to get the easy street, easy money. Estamos en el
Right.
norte, they say. And we can spend money. Easy to
Right.
make money, but it's anyway. You're right. The men are a mess across the board,
Yeah.
and including the Hispanic and black and even the white and Asian men are not men anymore. And I don't know what happened here. Maybe there was some bravery.
Right.
I heard that there were some adults who covered up their children to protect their children in
The
this
women.
shooting.
No, the women.
And they were killed, but most of the kids survived except for an 8-year-old, apparently.
Yeah, the women did that. The
Yeah.
women jumped on top of the children because those are their children.
Right.
But I was shocked. I
And
couldn't.
you might be right. Some of the men have no loyalty to them because they're like stepfathers, or it's just a shooting
Right.
and they're like scared, and so they take off running. The guy went into the home and right at the front door, he started shooting at people. So, what a crazy situation. Wilson Garcia is one of the fathers. I think the father of the 8-year-old, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Maybe he's the father of a baby who was crying. But
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know, but I thought that was just terrible. And the gentleman, the man, one of the men that survived, he himself, he said, "Oh, I ran out and then I came back and I saw through the window that the
wow.
shooter was shooting everybody." He said that. I saw that interview where he said that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if I were you, being a man, I wouldn't be saying that. Like, do you understand what you're saying?
Right,
You're
because he's
saying
kind
that-
of admitting to. It sounds like, well, some might speculate that he was being a coward, and we don't know
Exactly.
what the truth is.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what
his
he said,
wife,
so.
his wife was at the front door. Sonia Argentina Guzman, age 25, was at the front door, and she was the first to die, according to the AP. 15 people in that house, and 5 of them got killed.
I saw the names, and I noticed that none of the children had the names of the last names of the men.
Right. Yeah, and this guy's wife, this Garcia's wife, not mentioned is the supposed wife, is Sonia Argentina Guzman. That's not the same last name as Wilson Garcia. So, it's shenanigans. I think that feminism
Right.
stuff has infected even the Hondurans, I guess you would call them.
Yeah, and there's a reason why God put the rules like that, because he knew that if a man marries a woman, they commit to each other, they have children, there's a protective instinct that automatically comes over. You know, that's my family. I have to protect them.
Right.
But when it's just sex out of wedlock and somebody else's kids and this woman that I just met a couple of years ago and blah, blah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work out.
And a lot of times guys will say, and Hispanic guys are no exception, they may do this more than others, will say, oh, this is my wife, when in reality it's a girlfriend or,
Right.
you know, a baby mama or some type of out of wedlock situation, but they'll say wife. And so the media will credulously call them the wife, but it's not necessarily actually a wife.
Yeah.
I'm
so
laughing,
I
but
just
it's a
thought that was
mess.
interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'll let you go. Moving the wheels.
As Nick would say, host of American Anchor, baby. Appreciate hearing from you, Lady C. Sal. Great call. Take care.
Thank you. I love your show. We love your show. And yeah, keep doing what you do. God bless you guys.
All right. You too. Take care. See, not all the ladies are crazy. Poor Emily. Pray for Emily. Pray without ceasing. Anyway, let me get to Kentucky John. John from Kentucky is on the line. How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right.
Nice. What's up?
Hey, you ain't talked about Tim Scott yet, man. I figured y'all would be talking about that.
Tim
About him
Scott.
announcing.
That rhino, not to be confused with the real Tim Scott in my chat. I don't know if he's in my chat. But you're talking about that rhino senator from South Carolina or somewhere?
Yeah, he's a Republican, ain't he?
No, he's a rhino. Yeah, he's a Republican.
Oh, he's black. He's black is what it is.
No.
What's your opinion about him?
He's a total rhino, mama spirit, fake racism believing sucker.
I know all the insults. You keep saying rhino, but what makes him, a rhino?
Well, for one, he pretended like driving while black, that myth that blacks get...
It's not a myth. That's not a myth.
Oh, it's a total
I've
myth.
experienced that several times.
Oh, do you drive fast?
No, man, I was just black.
You drive the speed limit?
black.
You always drive the speed limit?
Listen, I had so many tickets when I was 16, 17 that I always drive no higher than 5 miles over the speed limit.
Okay, nice.
But I've been pulled over several times for being black.
For being black, and the cops told you it's for being black, or it's your imagination told you that?
Of course, they're not going to say it's because I'm black. It's because they're fishing for drugs or something, and I'm not that type of guy.
Did they?
But,
did they fish? They fished. They went fishing in your car?
Yeah, because I let them. Because I just want to let them.
Yeah.
Go about their business.
So what harm is that?
So, because you're singling somebody out because they're black.
But you don't know that. You're assuming that it's because you're black.
Well, they didn't have a reason to pull me over. I wasn't speeding. I didn't have tint on my windows or anything like that.
How do you know that they had no reason to pull you over?
Because they didn't give me a reason. They just let me go about my way when they didn't find drugs.
But then you're assuming that it's because you're black.
I know it's hard to believe. Look, I know it's hard to believe.
No, it's easy to believe that blacks have they frequently carry drugs and stuff like that. And so maybe they are profiling.
But whites do too.
But you have no idea.
Do too.
Not as much as blacks. Not as much as blacks.
Listen, have you been pulled over because you're a white?
No, because nobody is pulled over because they're white or because they're black. You're just making an assumption. Tim Scott made
you're in denial.
Tim Scott.
No.
You're in denial,
bro.
No, but you're in denial, bro, because you're denying that.
You're in denial.
Are you denying that blacks frequently have drugs and the police are looking out for the community?
No, I don't deny it.
Is drug dealing good for the community?
Listen. Hey, you don't want to get to the complete truth. Because the stuff
the whole truth is blacks have a lot of crime in their community. Disproportionately.
The whole truth is people who follow the law should not be singled out and harassed, and people assume that the car you drive or what color you are, he may have drugs.
You're assuming
shouldn't
that
do
they're
that.
assuming that. You're the one making the
No.
assumption.
Listen, what other
and
reason
on top
could
of
it
that,
be?
and on top of that, you understand that the black community is out of control, and so you should understand rather than blame the people who are trying to.
Listen, man. Listen.
Let me finish.
You can
Let
say
me
all
finish.
your BS
It's not
all you
BS.
want to,
It's not
man.
bogus
I know
speech.
what
It's the
happened.
truth.
I know what happened to me on several different
But you don't
occasions.
know this.
Hey,
you don't know the.
you don't
you don't know the
experience-
motivation.
Hey, you don't experience life the way a black person does, so you can only assume what we go through.
I
So
know, but
can make
you're
excuses.
assuming what's in the mind of the cops who pulled you over.
Listen, it can only be that.
No, it can't.
It can only be
It
that.
cannot only be that. Is there a drug problem in Kentucky?
Did I have drugs?
I don't know. Is there a drug problem in Kentucky?
No, I don't deal with drugs.
Is there
Was
a
I
drug
speeding?
problem in Kentucky? You're dodging the question.
Listen, okay, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
But ask me about any other state. Ask me about any other state.
Yes, there's a drug
Yes.
problem everywhere.
Yes. So that
And
yes
then Tim
doesn't-
Scott's being
doesn't-
dumb because there's a high black crime problem in D.C. So Tim Scott's being evil too.
You know, I wanted to talk about Tim Scott,
Yeah.
but you're kind of bullheaded, trying to defend these white cops that fish.
I'm not defending them. I'm just
Yes,
pointing.
you are.
No,
Because you don't believe
I'm
it-
pointing
You
out.
don't believe it exists. You don't believe people can be pulled over based on the color of their skin.
It's not based on
You don't-
that. It's not
You
based
don't
on that.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You don't believe it.
Do
you
blacks
don't
commit
believe that
more
there's-
crime?
Listen.
Do
listen.
blacks commit
You
more
don't
crime?
believe- Listen.
Do blacks commit more crime?
Listen.
Answer my
listen.
question first.
You don't. I don't really care about that question.
Then I don't. Then you don't really care about the whole truth.
Because
But you're saying
You
that it's
ask these
because they're black,
questions.
but blacks commit more crimes, therefore blacks
Listen,
can get
okay.
profiled.
okay, I'm gonna say yes. Now, let me ask you a
Then
question.
you admit that the profiling
Let
can
me
be
ask
justified.
you a question because you're trying to
All right, go ahead.
dominate because of your show.
Go ahead.
But are there cops out there who could possibly be biased against blacks and pull them over, and that have something to do with it, their color?
Yes.
Crickets.
I just told you yes.
Okay, that's what happened to me.
You don't know that that's what happened to you. You're just assuming.
Yes, it is. Dude, I was going about my business, man. Listen.
And they're going about
It is-
their business.
Listen, it is a strange feeling, Hake, when you're by yourself and it's 11 and 12 o'clock at night and you get pulled over and you're like, oh, my God. I've
Is that
heard
a
things
reasonable
like this.
time to get pulled over? 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Are crimes committed at those times of nights?
Is it against the law?
Are crimes committed at those times of nights?
Hey, you're trying to justify it, man.
I am justifying it
Listen.
because they're just doing their job.
I wish that the shoe was on the other foot and y'all had to go what we go through.
But
I
you're,
wish
you're
y'all-
but
I
you're,
wish you could
but we're going
experience
through
it.
we're
It
going
would
through
shut
you
you
making
up.
assumptions about us.
It's not an assumption, man.
Yes, you are. You're making
It-
big old assumptions.
If it happened
Blacks
once,
are the most
it happened once, maybe.
assumptive race because they're encouraged to make assumptions about whites and cops when you have
If it
no
happened
clue what's
once-
in the mind of the cops.
if it happened once, maybe. Okay.
All the time.
Listen, it's some racist pieces of crap out there, man. It's
Are
some
you
hateful-
a racist piece of crap?
No, I'm not a police either, and I don't have the power to pull somebody over.
But you
and
hate
make
whites.
excuses.
You feel like blacks are better than whites.
Here we go again.
Do you not feel like blacks are better than whites?
In some ways, yes.
And
But
so
what
what's
does it
wrong
have
with
to
that?
do-
What's wrong with? Is
what
there
does it have
anything
to
wrong
do-
with that?
Listen,
Is there anything wrong with that?
anything wrong with what?
With thinking blacks are better than whites or whites are better than blacks?
Man, I don't really care.
Then why do you
care.
care about cops being racist, according to you?
Because it happened. Because it happened to me, and really.
And so you treat other
Really-
people the same way.
Listen, you got to have good cops, Hate. There will never be any trust.
But you never
between-
even were mistreated by
There'll
those
never
cops.
be any
You
trust.
were just pulled over and they said go on about your day, have a good day. So
Listen,
what's
you
the
can't
what's
pull-
the harm?
Listen, you can't pull people for nothing. You can't do it.
You don't even
You have
know
to
if
be
it was for
breaking the
nothing or
law.
not.
Did I get a ticket? No, Egg.
And
I didn't get a ticket.
you should be grateful that you didn't
that
get a
means-
ticket.
Man, listen. You sound stupid.
I sound stupid
sound
because I'm telling
grateful.
the truth.
Why should I be grateful to a
Asmodor has a
person?
super chat for you.
Man, you about to make me cuss.
I've been pulled over several times for fishing expeditions. I was a member of a demographic at the time that a cop would suspect of drug activity. A young adult male with long hair and a beard in the 1980s.
Oh, shut up, Asmodor.
I am extremely... You're telling him shut up, but he's telling the truth. I am extremely white. Hold on, man. Let me finish.
He don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, he does. He's our resident historian. He knows more than you do, actually. I am extremely white. Whether right or wrong, it's not just the blacks. Whether it's right or wrong for the cops to do this, it's not just the blacks. Crickets.
No, it's not crickets. I was waiting for you to finish.
Okay. Well, you weren't waiting before.
Crickets. It's not crickets.
All right. I was kidding around.
Because I had you on crickets, man.
All right. Evil is Still Real says some cops do pull over other people, quote unquote, because they are black, but we cannot expect all the cops to act that good and noble. Shout out to the good cops, he says. Why not just have a good attitude?
I don't have any problems with good cops. But
So anyway, my whole point is Tim Scott's lame. Go ahead. Last point. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it left a bad taste in my mouth when I was pulled over several times. Man, I got pulled over one time, and I had guns drawn on me and my friend because they were looking for a car that looked like my car.
That sounds reasonable.
And I told him, I said, "Is it this kind of car?" He said, "No." He said, "It's I don't know how he said it, but it wasn't the type of car I had."
I've noticed that you used a woman word. You used harassed.
What's that?
Harassed. You said the
That's
cops
not
harassed
a woman's
you.
word.
That's a woman word. It's a victim woman word.
Man. I didn't say sexual harassment.
I know, but it's still a woman word.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
have you been harassed
it's a
before?
victim word. No?
Have you been harassed? Yes, you have.
By who? You?
Yes, you have. No,
because you call my show, I invite calls. It's not harassment.
The Bible go-to guy harassed you. Trust me, I know about that.
So you would call that harassment?
Yes, it's harassment. You can't be at your job waiting on you to come out every time.
All right, thanks, John.
Dude.
I appreciate it, man. Interesting conversations.
Tony, California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Nicky?
What's up, Tony? Did you call me Nick?
Right.
Did you call me Nicky?
Yeah, Nicky. Yeah.
Only family calls me that. But we're pretty much family, right, Tony?
I guess that I've been knowing you since you've been on the show. I helped brought you into this world, man. What you talking about, Nicky?
You helped bring me into this world. You might not even be wrong about what you're saying. You did help bring me into this world in a sense. And so like that, you're going to take me out.
Well, after this call, I might will. But the thing is, I'm calling about the situation on America and its evil. How you can profit.
Okay.
How the evil can profit in America off alcohol, cigarettes, fentanyl, Oxycontin, cancer treatment, Kellogg Rice Krispies.
Welcome to the world, Tony. Where have you been?
Well, I'm just
it's
saying,
been like
man,
that for 6,000 years.
No, it ain't been.
Man has been, colliding.
I'm just saying how the white man to take a product and profit off it, and it ain't about pure evil.
Why are you saying the white man?
Even the religion y'all speak on is evil.
Why are you saying the white man? What made you bring up the white man?
Why?
I thought it sounded like you were describing man in general.
No, I'm describing the white man.
Oh, so only the white man has created things worth abusing, is what you're saying.
Huh?
Only the white man has created things worth abusing?
Well, it's evil, man. It's evil.
But is that what you're saying? Only the white man has invented anything?
No.
Anything worth
no.
abusing?
What he has invented is evil. The gun. The gun. Even the right. Excuse me?
Tony, I mean,
even the sugar.
I can't believe you. I can't say you don't really believe that. I find it hard to because you're kind of like you have like I feel like talking to you over the years. I've known you. You're a business owner. You're a little bit older. You would think that Tony, like you, would have at least enough sense to know that, that statement of the guns, white man created guns and guns are evil. There's no way you, like, do black men defend themselves with guns? Or does any other race use guns for anything good? You're telling me you don't believe that at all?
Well, I'm not saying that you can't use a gun for something good to defend yourself or go hunting, but.
And why do you say the white man invented it? I thought Asian people invented black powder.
He did invent it.
Didn't the Asian man invent gunpowder, though? Get mad at the Asians. They invented gunpowder.
Well, you have to have the gun before you get gunpowder.
No, not necessarily true. No, they had different. They didn't have guns. They had cannons. They had different things.
It's just like saying, what came first, the egg or the chicken?
No. Gunpowder. No, guns. No, there was cannons and stuff before guns. Like so.
Okay, but it's still a gun.
But anyways, I'm just saying it sounds like something you wouldn't. I find it hard that you really believe that simplistic of a statement. White men created guns and guns are evil.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Everything the white man put on this earth for profit, most of it, not all, but most is evil. That's like the religion y'all speak on. That's evil.
So that means you've given up. Does that mean you're calling my show today to tell me to make your pledge that you're going to give up using all these evil things?
I have given up most of them, yes.
So you're pledging you're going to stop using them all?
I'm going back to my roots where we used to eat vegetables and fruit.
Nice. Veggies, fruits, no iPhone, nothing? You're just going to go back to... How far back are you going, Tony?
Wait a minute,
how far back in history are you going?
The phone came from the black man. The cell phone came from the black man.
So you're allowed to use your smartphone, right? Because the black man invented that.
Yes. Anything my ancestors came
So you're allowed to use the smartphone because the black man invented it, but the smartphones aren't evil.
Excuse me?
The smartphones aren't evil. Guns are evil, smartphones are not evil.
I haven't seen a phone got up and killed nobody.
You don't see how it brainwashes people? You don't see all the people losing their minds over pornography and weird stuff on the internet?
News and just me, Peterson, that's why.
You don't see people losing their minds over pornography and weird stuff on the internet?
Well, Nicky, I told you stop messing with that pornography. I told you that a long time ago.
I told you be slandering on my show. What the...
I'm just saying, man. You know you was heavy into that mess. I had to talk you out of it. You remember that?
You're slandering me, Tony. You take it back, sir.
You and Justin, y'all something else, bro.
Not funny. Listen, Tony.
What's that?
You're not answering my question. You're gonna say the smartphone's not evil and the guns are?
I'm saying
what makes the smartphone not evil and the guns evil?
It depends on how you use it, son.
So now it depends on how you use it with the smartphone?
Yeah, I just didn't I say not all, but most.
You said you didn't say that about guns. You said guns are evil because white people created them, and everything white people create is evil. Or not everything. Not all the things that white people create for profit are evil.
Yeah, for profit, yes. Because that's all they don't care about.
So a smartphone created for profit, created for many reasons, but one of them is profit, is not evil.
It all depends on how you use it.
And so what about the gun? Isn't the gun also dependent on how you use it?
Yes.
Oh, so you want to amend your original statement then. Now you want to say the guns aren't evil, it's just how you use them.
I said most, not all, but most.
No, your statement was guns are evil. White people created them, guns are evil. Are you now amending your original are you amending your original statement? Now you're saying it's not the gun, but it's how you use it?
How many guns have killed people in this world today?
Hold on, we'll get to that. Do you want to amend your original statement? And now you're saying guns aren't evil; it's how you use them.
Yes.
Thank you. I thought that first statement of yours didn't quite make sense, and so now you're saying how many guns kill people? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, though, it's a lot of guns out here that's in the wrong hands.
All right, Tony. I'm just saying that you gotta. I just want to say, man, think about the things you say. You might not have fully thought it out, because even in just this conversation, we figured out that your original statement.
Look at the alcohol use. Look at the drugs you're spitting on.
Right, but you came in saying that with the premise that all these things were created and that they're evil. But now you agree with me that it's not the things, it's how you use it. So maybe think about what you're saying, because maybe you're
jumped on
believing things
guns.
that aren't true.
I jumped on everything else. And threw guns in there. And then you became just Lee Peterson, focus on one thing: guns. No. Look at the fentanyl. Look at Oxycontin. Look
what
at these
about it?
doctors, how much profit they made off
It's
that.
like you agree with me. You agree with me. It's a. Oh, sorry. What about it? What are you saying about it?
Look, I'm just saying, look at the company called Purdue. How much money they made profit, then they turned around and got sued for very little bit of that profit they made. It's
man.
evil, man.
Yeah, it's evil. It's evil.
And
How
don't nobody
it's
go to
evil
jail.
that companies want profit.
Nobody
If that's
go
true,
to
what you're
jail
saying.
for the
they'll put-
evilness.
hold on. Yeah, it's true, man. I don't even disagree. I see if it's true what you're saying. Companies putting profit over well-being of patients and well-being of people. That's evil. I see people unable to control themselves and taking these drugs when they don't, no one's forcing them. It's evil. I see the evil, man. Totally. Is there a point you want to make about that? I totally see the evil. Right on. Or is your point just white people made this and that's evil?
Well, the thing
Is that your
look at
point,
the
Tony? Is that
brainwashing.
your point? Do you agree with me? But
Yes,
ultimately,
yes.
you want to say white people made this and that's evil?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that.
And the religion.
Right
Look at the
on,
brainwashing of that. How many
Moving the
billions of
wheels.
dollars?
Mark, California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call today, but this idiot that called in front of me motivated me. First off, he starts out talking about he doesn't know how to spell, obviously a dope. He spells America with 3 Ks at the end, but yet he lives here. Secondly, I wanted to talk a little bit
Good point.
about reparations. I mean, would you want your tax money going to that slob that called before me? Would you want to give that white-hating snake a penny?
No, man.
Well-
I wouldn't want to give any. I have friends who want to leave California if that were to happen.
Well, okay, but I'm saying it's clowns like him that hate the white man that are going to get rewarded when they rob us, because reparations is legal robbery. It's legal robbery. No one in this state
man.
was ever a slave, and nobody in this state ever owned one.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what you're saying. It's true,
Yeah,
man.
but
Mark,
the only complaint-
sorry, go ahead.
Pardon me?
No,
No,
go ahead.
the only thing I say is I know it's your show and you could run it the way you want, but when you give a scumbag like that so much airtime to just hate on the white man, that is really hard to listen to. You can't I can't call and rebuke him, even though he is Satan. I can't do that because I got to sit here and listen and sit through his nonsense. Now, he's not the only one. He's a little stupider, a little dumber than most of them. And I hope he's listening, too.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so,
So he's a little dumber.
I know you don't.
but
So
go ahead.
on the running your show thing, well, you don't have to make comments like that anymore because this is how I run it, and clearly I gave you time.
You did.
And time to? May I ask? Does Tony make you angry?
A little, yeah. Because
I
every
gave you.
time I hear
I gave
that
you
guy,
time to hate on Tony, because that's
well,
hate.
fine. But that isn't even the reason I
know.
necessarily called.
That's besides the point.
But I mean, when you hear an evil man like that speak, and he is evil, and the thought that he could get 1 red cent in reparations is enough to go to war. I mean, that's war talk.
It's wild
he
stuff,
wants
man.
a war.
But you gotta. You just said it right there. You just said it right there, Mark.
What?
And I don't want to look. I like leaving room for the things you're saying because I don't even disagree. But I like talking with my callers on their reactions, and so, I hope you don't mind me doing this, but I just want to focus on that. It's like, think about this: you weren't gonna call in until Tony called in and got you what? Is it fair to say riled up?
Somebody had to counter his evil. Somebody had to counter the lies that black man created the cell phone. What a lie! But
nobody, like for example, Hake makes a good point here. Hard to take Tony seriously enough to get mad at him. It's like a lot of people aren't taking him seriously, and I know there's really, truly like haters out there. But what's more effective? I'm not saying I dealt with him absolutely perfectly, but what's more effective? letting people see, letting him talk, and being and not really reacting emotionally to him, and then letting people see for themselves how he is, or
Well,
causing
what
or
you-
getting emotional, or I don't want to put words like emotional on you because I don't really know, but getting riled up, getting, in my opinion, maybe even affected by someone you never met.
Well, I see your point. The thing that I don't like is, and I'm not blaming you because,
No
again,
problem.
it's your show,
No problem.
but to give an evil man like him time, I mean, you could laugh at him, but when you really look at what he says, he's the devil, man. I mean, he's Satan. He's Satan's boy up here on earth. And I say boy, emphasize the word boy.
Whoa,
he's just
man.
an evil man.
You're not allowed to do that. You're white.
Yeah, well, I do it anyway. But Tony is really evil, and I'm not just
Hush up,
calling about
boy.
him. Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. But the reparations ripoff would give people like that money.
But that is going on already. Money being distributed to evil haters, white haters even, is like happening already that you're not even aware of. I know it's kind of crazy because it's coming from someone. Look, I know this is wild, Mark, because you grew up here and you're seeing your country change to a level you never expected it to be. You're seeing everything I'm seeing as well, maybe even more. So I don't discount that. And so I know that it's coming from me who moved here in 2019. Like, who the heck am I saying this? But it's already happening, Mark. And I know it's crazy to ask this of you, but I think maybe, chat, am I crazy for saying this? Maybe we gotta have a different attitude while the house is on fire, while the sink is shipping. Sink is shipping. The ship is sinking. You know what I mean? Like yeah, that's already happening. Are you gonna get mad about it?
Well, let me put it this way: I'll fight it to the last breath I have.
And I
I'll fight
respect
their
that,
evil
man.
to
And
the
I respect
last
that.
breath.
I sincerely respect that.
They're evil.
really do.
I mean, you're talking evil.
But there's a
These
right way of
people are
doing
more
things.
of a threat.
Go ahead.
These people are more of a. I just wanted to say that these people are more of a threat than the Russians or the Chinese. People like him who want to start a race war are really the number one problem in America. That the FBI, who used to follow scum, white haters and Black Panthers and BLM, have been, I don't know, just totally subverted.
And I respect that. Look, that's just, I think I've said, I'll just be repeating myself at this point. But Mark, man, I sincerely appreciate your call.
God bless you.
Take care, man. Thank you. Oh, Mark, I have a question for you. Do you mind if you take
Yes,
this question from someone? He asks,
Not at all.
are you better than Tony, Mark?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
And why?
I really don't know him. I would guess he's got a lower IQ just from listening to him speak.
Are you better than lower IQ people?
Pardon me?
Are you better than lower IQ people?
Again, I think that's a loaded question, but I do think people with higher IQs contribute more than people like him who take. They take, we give. As far as being better, I don't like to say that. It has bad connotation. But all I can say is what he wants to do in his ilk is destroy this country. He complains constantly about the white man, yet he lives here. He can't spell America right, yet he lives here.
Have you
So,
ever said
he's a
something to
hypocrite.
someone and you didn't mean to say it?
Well, sure.
And
Yeah,
so when you said that thing to that person you didn't mean to say, that means you thought something about them that wasn't true. Is that fair to say?
Possibly, yes.
So then
Yeah.
how are you any different? You know, maybe now you've overcome that, but how were you at least at that point any different than Tony? Any different?
Well, I never,
whether IQ or
I never-
whatever.
well, no, I never, downgraded my country by calling it America KKK.
No, but you
Anybody that says
you
that
lied on your
hates
brother.
America.
No, but you lied on your you believe lies about your brother and then acted on them.
In what way?
You said to me, you didn't say specifics, and I don't want you to. You said to me that you've believed lies. You've said things to people and you didn't mean to say it, meaning you believed something
Correct.
about them that wasn't true.
It's happened. Yes.
So you saying, yeah, I haven't denigrated my country, but you believe lies about your brother, which is what's happening with reparations. It's what's happening with Tony to what blacks to whites.
Well, I don't see the comparison. I mean, I'm not asking for reparations. You know.
No, but you believed.
I'm happy
No, but
to
you
live here.
believed lies about someone.
Lies. I'm sorry. Lies about who?
You said something you didn't mean to someone, like you just
Sure.
like you told me, and you believed
Yes.
something untrue about them. The way
Okay.
Tony believes untrue things about you and about white people.
Okay. So am I supposed to forgive him and say, "Here's a check, Tony, for
Maybe.
reparations"?
Bingo. Well, forgiveness doesn't mean accept reparations.
He'll take them. Anybody that would call America KKK would take reparations because they
Fair
hate
enough.
the country and they hate white people.
Fair enough.
And that's what he's motivated by. And I love your show.
Man,
And,
thanks for your
at
call,
least-
Mark. Hey, appreciate your calls. I don't mind.
God bless you.
Take care. Moving the wheels.
Smash, smash, smash.